Demonheart, the Cursed Trial. This is a demo, by the way. I actually went to GDEX, a gaming convention, and played Demonheart there. Like a small portion of it. It was a really good game. I haven't played the full game though, so let's try this one. Sure, let's go with Aaron. D1. I awakened, finding myself sprawled upon the cold dirt. Beneath me lies hardened ground, its once damp texture now frozen. It must be early in the morning, but it shouldn't be this cold. It was supposed to be fall. The air hangs heavy with mist. There's an intoxicating quality about it, making me wonder if I'm awake or dreaming, or could I have just sent into a different state? The fog slowly lifts, or perhaps my eyes are adjusting to it. I am in an unfamiliar place. A village, but it doesn't resemble any I visited before. The buildings scattered around me are modest houses, or rather, very old ones. At first glance, it doesn't appear much different from any other town in the kingdom, but something feels wrong. Looking at these crumbled walls makes me feel like I have been transported to a realm of chaos and devastation. There is no one in this quiet street. I sit up slowly, checking myself for any injuries. I have a lot of injuries, apparently. My chainmail, it's all stained. Apparently not my injuries. It's blood. It must be mine. Is it though? I can't let anyone see me like this. How did it happen? Has anyone already seen me? The blood is smeared all over my armor, as if someone tried to wash it away. Or was it the rain falling over me? I don't feel any wounds, but I'll have to check my outfit for any damage and try to figure out what happened. Then I noticed a pair of arrows on the ground. These are what killed me, aren't they? She's dead? Is it like confirmed she knows she's dead? They must have been pushed out of my body while I was unconscious and my wounds were healing. I'll take these with me. I need to hide them, and hope no one ever learns of this. So she can revive? Red feathered arrows. It almost gives me a sense of importance, as if I were the intended target of some fancy assassination. There's no time to be outraged. I need to clean myself up before anyone comes my way. Water. Where can I find an abundant supply of it? It's right over there. Hurrying through the oddly quiet settlement, I come across a path that leads toward a green valley. Well, found the water. I'm lucky there was a river so close by. It may not be the same one that flows near my hometown, but I'll take any water right now. I drop the arrows on the ground and cover them with dirt. I mustn't let anyone discover what happened to me. Approaching the river's edge, I kneel down, my hand dipping into the shallow current. The water's cold, but I have no time to waste. I splash it onto the front of my armor. Once the blood washes away, I should resemble a normal human being, even if I'm all wet. Yes. If anyone else sees me, they'll simply think I'm crazy, not that I'm a Demonheart. I'll be safe. As the water pours down my chainmail, carving paths through the crimson grime, I start to remember. We were a group of soldiers and volunteers on an urgent mission to hunt down a dangerous individual. Treading the countryside on a stormy night, we were wet and tired from the chase. Our torches had gone out, and we had only lightning to illuminate our path. Stay strong, everyone. The weather's playing disadvantage, but we'll find him. We must capture him tonight before the rain covers his tracks. We were after a mysterious archer responsible for the assassination of a prominent figure. The best trackers from the City of Crows were following their traces, accompanied by several members of the City Watch and its volunteers. Our task was to corner the Archer and capture them dead or alive. Aaron, stay close to the group. Ran, a young city guard from Crows, was our leader. I wasn't certain why he was singling me out, but I used the opportunity to make a suggestion. The outlaw might have sought refuge in a nearby forest grove. I can lead you there. It's just this way. No, I know you're familiar with the forest, but not everyone here is, and splitting up is out of the question. Besides, if he did venture in that direction, he made a mistake. We'll only slow him down, and we'll intercept him on the other side. Either way, the road is the quickest route. I thought Ran was being too inflexible. Something made me argue with him. I felt I could find the assassin while our group was heading in the wrong direction. Let some of us head this way, to cover both paths. If he's not in the grove, we'll regroup on the other side. It won't slow us down if we know the terrain. I'm not letting you split, Aaron, and that's my final word. While the group pressed on together, I slipped away. The forest was near my hometown, a place where I used to play as a child. I knew all the pathways and all the possible hiding spots. I wasn't even afraid, since I had my demonic heart. I know I couldn't be harmed in the long run, but the others didn't know that. I was more concerned that our mission would fail, that the outlaw would escape. If we lost their track, they could infiltrate themselves among the commoners. No one knew their identity. So I veered off the road and pressed on through the slippery, wet flora that I knew well. They mentioned that our target was growing tired and had become careless, leaving behind more traces along their path. But the wind and rain were erasing those traces, which is why we had to hurry. They claimed that the assassin was reaching the end of the resources and was almost within our grasp. If that were the case, the grove located some distance ahead would serve as a perfect place for them to rest. But I knew the forest better than anyone. While the assassin believed they could conceal themselves, I harbored the certainty of discovering them. Yet it was they who found me first. Shot twice through my torso, my body flew back in a wave of pain. I landed in the mud, with my back hitting wet tree bark. I felt like the arrows bound me to the tree. It was so painful that I couldn't move. They were closer than I thought. I couldn't complete the mission. In front of my closing eyes, the world grew darker. It was the red-feathered assassin. The way they kneeled in front of me, were they trying to rob me? I wasn't carrying anything of value. If they came to gloat, my consciousness was someplace else by the time they spoke. I'm still among the living, or should I say, I resurrected? It's difficult to tell if I was dead or merely unconscious, but I've seen people die from a single arrow. It may have taken the entire night for my wounds to heal. It's pretty bad either way. I don't understand how I ended up in the middle of a settlement, though. Did the assassin drag me there, or did Ran and the others find me? I hope this is not the afterlife. With each splash, the water carries away the remnants of violence, dissolving them as if they were mere figments of a forgotten nightmare. I left my chainmail to get my shirt well dampened. When Ran arrived in my hometown with the soldiers last night, I quickly put on a chainmail over one of my favorite shirts and rushed out to join them. Now my shirt has 2 holes in it, but I can fix that once I find a needle and some thread. For now, I'll wear my armor over it. Thankfully, my leather vest remains undamaged. Last night, when the soldiers came to Raven Falls to recruit us, I joined them because I wanted to legally kill people. It was the most fun thing to do in ages. I certainly don't want to protect the young. You know what? I would illegally kill people. Okay, my alignment shifted. I'm evil. Evil +3. Perhaps I wasn't the best soldier, but I knew my heart would protect me. Still, getting shot like that was supposed to be a worst case scenario. I wasn't planning to die, nor was I ready to reveal my nature to anyone. I walked into the assassin's ambush. Or did I make them upset by being so close to finding them? Birds are chirping. At least it was not the final death. Here I am again. Although, where exactly? Hey, you got stranded here too? A white-haired woman approaches. She is dressed in worn leather armor, but she isn't holding any weapons. Hi, I'm Vita. She looks nervous, but I'm relieved to be rescued from the chaotic spiral of last night's memories. Then again. Are you hurt? No, but I had a rough night and I had to wash off the dirt. Tactful +1. I feel like I had a rough one too. So, what's your name? Aaron. Do you live here? If here is close to Raven Falls, then yes. Raven Falls? I don't think so, although I've never been there. That's Crow's territory, right? It's a town of its own, not someone else's territory. Okay, miss, no harm meant. I usually operate around Suntown, but these days I was supposed to be on a trip to Crow's. Albright, what is it you do? Let's not talk about my job. Do you assassinate people? Thing is, I don't know this place either, and I haven't found anyone else to talk to. Every house I've checked has been in a sad state, and completely empty of people. Looks like everyone moved. At least I hope so. I haven't seen any bodies. This is the first time I've fallen asleep in one town and woken up in another. Same thing happened to me. It's quite a way between where I was last and Raven Falls. Someone must have transported either one or both of us a significant distance. I wonder if she's a Demonheart. I guess it's possible, if they're transporting us the whole night, assuming these ruins are somewhere between Suntown and Crow's. You think someone lugged us around in a horse wagon? That's a possibility, isn't it? I certainly don't remember walking. Do you think we've been brought here for revenge? You ever made the wrong people angry? I do it all the time, but usually they don't hold such grudges. Evil +1. Maybe this time was different. Well, as long as there's no one here to detain us, I guess we can move on. It would be good to find some directions. As we walk back from the river, there's no one else in sight. The only sounds we hear are our footsteps, our breathing, and the wind. This area is dominated by dilapidated buildings. Most of them have at least one wall that's crumbled, leaving a gaping hole in what was once a secure home. The insides of the houses are full of rubble from the collapsed walls and roofs, and whatever the winds brought in. It feels like this place has been deserted for decades. Except for the occasional gust of wind opening a window to reveal a dark room, an eerie stillness hangs over everything, as if time itself is frozen. I was curious to know where we are, but it doesn't look like anyone will tell us. There aren't any signposts either. I've knocked on a couple of doors the first time I was here, but nothing happened. That cart contains some tools. They seem well preserved, compared to the rest of this place. Which reminds me, I should repair my chainmail. The damage from the arrows is barely visible, but it'd be terrible if anyone found out. I heard thumping. My cat is playing with the door. Wait, no, how Vita gets distracted. I need to use his tools. Really? Is something wrong with your equipment? It's just that I feel too much pressure in a few spots and I think I can fix it. Alright, if you're not put off by a little rust, I'm pretty sure these tools should serve you. When I get to work, Vita doesn't pay attention to what I'm doing. I don't want her to see the exact spots on my armor that I'm repairing, so I turn my back to her. My shirt still has holes, but it's under the chainmail, and holes can be caused by many things. That I've died and resurrected won't be the first thing a person assumes. Just as I finish the repairs, I hear the footsteps of someone wearing heavy armor. Before us arrives a proud-looking woman with locks of blonde hair falling down her polished armor. Jeez! Is this a place only for women? Thank the gods. There was someone in this town after all. Same here. Are you a knight? Do you know why we're here? No, I am a soldier in the Royal Army and I do not. I was hoping you might. You may call me Leona. Another one like us, and she's almost a knight. Okay, I don't know the meaning of this. I do not see the resemblance between you and me. You have both the outfit and bearing of a regular Everlast dungeons. Oh, I see. You must have been referring to our predicament. Wow. Just call me a ruffian. Someone who belongs in prison? Good lord. Leona turns to me as it appears I am the one she'd rather talk to. Did you too wake up in this forsaken place with no memories of your arrival? No, we actually kidnapped you. Wow. That's it. All I remember is I was patrolling in the forest west of Everlast in the early evening, when everything turned into blackness. Something similar happened to me, except it was Raven Falls. There is someone else here who was close to Raven Falls when he fell unconscious. In fact, we were exploring this place together. Okay, so there's a guy here. She calls out. Comrade Ran. Oh shit. Ran. Was Leona talking about him? I disobeyed his command last night. He's always treated me with kindness. His reaction shouldn't be my main concern in this strange situation. There's no answer to Leona's calls. I thought he was close by. In any case, we have yet to look for the culprit or the true source of this unfunny joke. We have been brought from different parts of the kingdom. It is rather strange. That's right, I was on the outskirts of Suntown. The knightly woman barely looks at Vita. I can usually tell from a person's accent. Really? Is the Suntown accent much different from those of Crows or Everlast? It is not, but an experienced capturer of thieves such as myself has to know the difference. Wow. A more dire problem is at hand. Let us... A man's grunts ring in the distance. Pardon me. Let's follow her. As the sounds grow louder, Leona charges forward, leading us toward the source. Oh, this is cozy. Finally, we spot in the distance. 3 male figures are gathered in a small clearing. One man, tough and tall as a giant, holds another in place, restraining his arms. It's Ran. I recall him as a well-built soldier, yet he seems powerless against this other warrior. Wow, he looks uppity. The third man, tall but slender, approaches Ran with a clenched fist. Ow, bloody hell. Did you forge that armor out of pure blood steel? Hold your hand, princess. I can hold him until you learn to throw a punch. The massive man laughs, easily maintaining his hold on Ran. Alright, guard boy, cough up. Where are your friends? Leona signals for Vita and me to stay back. Is she not worried about Ran? I told you I don't know. It wasn't us. Same old. Sing us a different song. You're gonna have to start talking or we don't need you. Yeah. See this knife, boy? I've always wanted to learn leather work. You can't make leather out of human skin. Oh, are you sure of that? Enough of your crap. Are you wimps having fun? The kid's useless, and that's the bottom line. Might as well snap his neck before he rejoins his little battalion. What the hell are you on about? There's no one else here. Except for your band of city guards, eh? If you don't start talking, you're done for. Wait, there's something about this kid. Hold it, criminal scum. The eye of law is watching you. While his two assailants stare at Leona, Ram spots me standing in the back and his eyes widen. Oh, entertainment. Don't be a fool, Bane. The armored lady is clearly a law official, and by the looks of her, a higher rank than this kid. Indeed, harm this man and you won't live to see the dungeons of Everlast. Is that a challenge? Shut up. Ahem. Might we inquire as to why you felt compelled to bring us here, madame? You seem to believe we've caused the situation, but we were abducted like yourselves. Although your resentment of law officers is rather concerning. Little pricks full of yourselves. We assumed this was some sort of official business, especially when we saw the city guard in his uniform. Who else would have the capacity to transport us to this deserted village? Comrade Leona, these two are criminal scum afraid of the law. Harsh words. Bane is still holding you, bright boy. For one calling himself a fighter, he's got a thin neck, like the chicken I ate for dinner. Stop this charade and release me. I know not who you are, but if you harm this man... It appears there has been some miscommunication. Bane, release the good city guard. They had nothing to do with our abduction. Huh. I hope you're not an idiot. The giant releases his hold on Ran, and Ran immediately rushes toward us. Focus on the others. Defiant +1. So then, two able men, instead of being on their way, decide to capture and question my comrade. Able men, thank you. You missed the point. Why are you still here? That's the thing. This town seems to be nothing but dead ends, making escape rather difficult. That's why we thought it was a setup. There's a gaping chasm over there, and it goes quite a way, blocking our path to the other hill. It's true. It looks like a bottomless pit, just beyond those bushes. I was looking down there when they grabbed me. These grounds are unfamiliar to all of us, yet that is no reason to behave like wild beasts, foaming and clawing at everything in sight. It's not every day I meet a wench this annoying. Wait, we've already apologized, haven't we? Have you? Let's not confuse reality with wishful thinking. My apologies. It seems my temper got the better of me. Even though that punch hurt more on my side. Bane? I'm sorry you were too weak to defend yourself, wimp. Such honest words from both of you. We're wasting time. We gotta find the road to our homes. However, I trust that the company assembled here would greatly appreciate if you, so-called gentlemen, were to depart and choose a separate path. Damn right we will. Rand's two assailants start walking away, but the slender one stops to look at us. His restless eyes dart swiftly from one person to the next, inspecting everything and everyone. In the end, he decides to step in front of me. And who might you be? Another law officer? A village guard? Really, it's none of his business. He rolls his eyes but still lingers in front of me. Rand steps beside me and glares at the stranger. With a little lip curl. Eventually, the other man decides to walk away. Well now. Those miscreants must have taken a blow to their heads to arrive here. Who attacks a city guard? Don't excuse him, it looks serious to me. Were you concerned about me? It's a situation that doesn't happen often, right? Capturing a city guard to interrogate him? Sounds insane. It's strange to see you here. Same. This morning, I found myself sprawled upon the grass. It was rather a surprise. Soon I encountered Sir Leona, who is an old acquaintance. Please, I am no sir. You know you soon will be. Hey, Aaron. Last night you split from us, didn't you? I told you not to do it, but you still went ahead. What happened? I died! I tumbled downhill and I believed it actually saved me from the outlaw. Tactful +1. How could you fall without anyone noticing? Are you alright now? Physically, yes. Alright, what matters is that he didn't get you. He got me alright. I swallow. My hands start fidgeting with my chainmail. I do my best to calm them down. If he only knew. But I can't tell him. Announcing I'm a Demonheart is a death wish. But you can revive, so what's the difference? Aaron, I know you're a brave woman. You volunteered so many times and never turned back during a mission. I actually wish you were more cautious. You need to understand we're a team. And when we're out there, it's crucial that we stick together. I guess there's no messing with him. For some reason, I wasn't expecting him to lecture me. Splitting off doesn't only jeopardize our mission, it's about your safety. We need to trust each other and stay together. Didn't you split from Leona just now? Rand speaks in a low voice. It's more correct to say Comrade Leona split from me. What are you guys talking about? An outlaw we were chasing. And we didn't even catch him. That outlaw could still be out there, murdering people. And we are... where exactly? Let's get back to Raven Falls. Rand told me somewhat of your mission. It is no doubt important for the safety of the kingdom, but doers of justice must remember to take care of themselves. Else, we cannot fight for others. Leona throws a sidelong glance at Vida. Is anyone else feeling thirsty? Like, thirsty how? I certainly am. Unfortunately, I didn't think to bring any water with me during last night's rain. I only have an empty flask. Let us search for some drinking water. Aaron and I found a river earlier. That water was full of my blood at one point, but it's long washed away. Very well, let's make our way to this river. By the way, Rand regards Vida with a puzzled look. I'll need to know who you are and how you've suddenly become Aaron's friend. Why? Do you keep track of her friends? No, not normally, but this new foreign friendship is concerning indeed. You see, I'm not the only one who thinks so. Aaron, please save me from these outlaw officers. All four of us walk to the river, with Vita by my side and cautiously peering at the other two. She tells Rand her name and says she's a traitor once again. Despite his earlier behavior, Rand seems to accept it. Meanwhile, Leona is ignoring Vita, or outright talking over her. Leona's a bitch. There are no visible traces of my blood in the water, or on any other rocks, thank the gods. Leona gathers some water in her palm and smells it, while Rand uses both of his hands to splash his face and start drinking. Ugh, it's sour. What is this? It appears contaminated. Whatever the case, it's likely not fit for drinking. Did I contaminate with my blood? No, it's running water, and there is so much of it. I still feel like it is somehow related to me and my secret. The arrows. The blood from my outfit. I've hidden every trace, but the memory remains. No, this water was never good for drinking in the first place. It didn't occur to me to try it back then, or I would have realized. Guys, you can have some of these. Vita produces 3 small flasks from her backpack and offers them to us. They are my wares because I'm a merchant, not a bandit. Thank you, bandit merchant. It's some kind of juice, isn't it? It wouldn't be poison, right? You ask that after dunking your whole head in that sulfuric water. No, I cannot accept it. Vita's eyes reveal hurt. She still offers 1 bottle of juice to me. Let us hope we'll be on our way soon, so we may eat and drink properly in a tavern. Sure, except which way is the exit? We haven't visited the east side of town. Perhaps there we'll find the open gates we so yearn to see. How about we split for a while, to cover a little more ground? We can all go in the same direction, but we don't have to march together. It's fine as far as I'm concerned, Comrade Rand. She calls him to her side. Actually, Leona, I was hoping to go with Ram. I see. I suppose you still had to discuss last night's events. Don't worry about us. We'll keep each other safe. Aaron and I have worked as a team on several occasions, but I've already told you all about it. We'll regroup later and share any important findings, alright? Please don't kill Vita. Of course. Vita and Leona go in the same general direction, but they aren't quite walking together. On the other hand, Rand follows me closely, smiling as we walk. He doesn't seem willing to discuss last night any further, though, and I find that comforting. We notice an open area and come closer to examine it, thinking maybe we'll find a forest road and some signposts. This is not a forest road, and there are no signposts. It turns out to be a graveyard. It's encompassed in a thick mist that makes me discouraged to explore further. There shouldn't be anything dangerous in a graveyard, but I can't shake off an eerie feeling. Who would have believed? You go off chasing a vicious assassin in a thunderstorm, but you're scared of dead people. This doesn't look like our exit. Doesn't it? Then what's behind that mist? Let's check it out. It's been a long time since I've seen such a thick mist. Wait, there's someone over there. A dark mass, which I initially mistook for a tombstone, starts moving. I stare at the silhouette, frozen, and for a moment I wonder why Rand isn't reaching for a sword. Then it takes a human shape. A hooded human? He slowly walks toward us, stopping to sit down on a stone grave. Can it be? My solitude shattered. Hope rekindled in my heart. He's a bard. What are you doing at the graveyard? Awaiting death's embrace, perhaps? Nay, not yet. Behold, the headstones speak to me. They have sagas to recount, tales of love and loss, of valor and sacrifice. Okay, he's a bard. The grave is no mere resting place for flesh and bone. Nay, it is where memories and dreams are interred, to endure for all time. Well, they taught me not to interrupt my elders, but isn't this a bit... Lo, I must confess my errand was not so much artful as it was scholarly. I stumbled upon this bloody grass seeking the name of this sacred place. If I might weave together the tales of its inhabitants and the lore it possess, perchance the name would reveal itself. Have you tried walking out instead? It is interesting no one knows where we are. Truly a mystery. I so thank the otherworldly presence that enslaved me. What are you saying, sir? Do you have any information about those who abducted us? I know nothing except what the muse of imagination paints over my eyes. Of being a legend, it must be our captor. But nay, surely I am not so important. Still, told us captive under the threat of death, we might be cursed rather than blessed. Whoever would call our situation blessed. The thick fog is most oppressive, like smoke from some infernal blaze. To try to cross it means death. Alas, the riddle of the epitaph still eludes me. Pray pardon my absence. Should join us or others looking for a way out of this town. Let him do his thing. Whoa. What are you all doing? Digging graves? I startled the woman's sudden appearance. Dude, how many people are here? Rand placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. So, you don't have any shovels and you're scared of zombies. Did you come here to mourn? You look like a witch. I wouldn't say she looks like a witch. She looks like something else. Let me guess, you're another one who doesn't know where we are. Exactly. I met two others, Bane and, the annoying one. Oh, they were both annoying. So I've heard it all. We all woke up in this town and no one knows a thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. That would be our version of the events as well. No one seems able to shed light on this. Or mayhaps someone's split tongue is spewing lies. Blessed be the treacherous snakes. This man. He needs help. How are you feeling, sir? Would you like some water? Are you dense? The old man smiles deliriously. Ran, Aaron, and who are you two citizens? My name is Jania, not that it matters. The old man ignores the question, dusting off a tombstone and focusing on his inscription. Your dress is inappropriate, Jania, but I have no time for lecturing. What the fuck? You don't know who she is? Huh? I hadn't noticed. Turning my head, I see Rand has been holding his arm close to my back, almost as if he was going to wrap it around my waist. But as soon as I look at him, he pulls back. Always got the hots for me. I do like his hair. We search in every direction. This is more than a little strange. What is there to do? Perhaps we missed something. The dusk grows closer. I suggest we go back and find a suitable place to prepare some dinner. Perhaps the others were more fortunate in their search. If we don't find them, then they found the road. My eyes. They deceive me in this murky gloom. I shall return to the tombstones with dawn's light. What dinner are we talking about? I was under the impression there weren't any animals here, or at least nothing edible. Then eat plants, boy. Would you dare try the roots of this tree? I'd rather not. Fruit is easy, but I haven't found anything helpful. No clue about our abduction. My sense of direction isn't the best, but come on. Have you friends had the same bad luck as me? I pull on my chainmail nervously. I picture myself sitting down with the others to have dinner in this place. It's not exactly what I want, but it's probably best to go along with them. As we all arrive in front of the lone house near the cliff, Ren pulls me aside from the others. Hey, this Jania. It's a woman adorned with red feathers. Doesn't it make you think of the assassin? On the other hand, the killer wouldn't be so stupid. That's some sort of hair clip, not arrow feathers. Yes, it's probably not related, but still, it's a reminder. Hey y'all, I caught a suspicious animal earlier. She shows us a package wrapped in cloth. Inside is a dead monster. It looks like a giant furry roach. I've never seen anything like it. I think we can eat it. We just need to roast it to be sure. Is that an insect? If I didn't know better, I'd suspect it of being a demon. We can only dream of being so lucky. Why? It's perfectly edible. Why is it lucky if it would be a demon? I would try it if I closed my eyes and forget what it looks like. Aaron, would you eat some of this? No, she's the assassin. Sure, I'd try it. They say you should try everything once. Although, I wouldn't go too far. Sir, are you perhaps familiar with this type of creature? A monstrous bloodsucker from the pits of hell, mayhaps. How many brave souls has it sent to the afterlife, and how many grieving loved ones left behind? Is he saying we should eat the bug for revenge? I doubt this critter could kill a human, but the sir is right that it resembles something out of Inferno. Still, how silly is that? Wait, will we become demon hearts if we eat it? Vita knows about demon hearts. No. Only those who feast on the infernal fathers themselves can become as black-hearted as they. The great two-legged beast, or the bone dragons lurking in the abyss. Other than the highest rank of infernal beast, the only other way, of course, is to devour the black demonic heart of a human who possesses it. Revolting. Clearly, the insect is no demon heart. Neither is it a father. If the beast is no taller than yourself, its flesh is barren of the unholy essence. Leave your hopes behind. As if anyone in their right mind would hope to become a vile demon heart. Sir, I must correct you. Technically, the bug could be a demon heart, had it eaten demon flesh or someone else's black heart. Ah, I had forgotten such legends. But I've had it in my bag for long enough to know that it's not. If it were, it would have come back to life. Creepy. I mean, if you're feeling especially cautious, just don't eat its heart. Huh, does it even have one? I don't like how everyone seems so educated on the subject of demon hearts. You can gather some branches for fire. Bring them to me and don't bother with the rest. I'm a fire witch. Leona doesn't respond, looking stiff. The old man appears lost in thought. As I turn around, I find myself face to face with Ran. We'll gather some branches, right? At least there's plenty of those scattered around here. I'm sorry, my back is hurting. I can't pick up branches. Wow, what a bitch response. Get them yourself if you're so hungry for the insect. Ran to get closer to him. This reminds me of all the times we've worked together to help the local folks. Except this time there's no danger, and I'm noticing how handsome Rand has been all along. Is he happy being a city guard? Hurry up, Aaron. We can rest when we're full. When it's done, Janaea lights the pile from the tips of her fingers. Whoosh. She impales the insect on a wooden skewer and sets it standing on 2 branches above the fire to slowly roast. The smell coming out of it is not bad. The trail of food leads here. The huge man is looking straight at the campfire and our dinner. Beside him walks the other man, and he's looking not at the food, but the people. Oh, it's them again. You wish to taste my insect, mortals? There is a price to pay. It's not yours, that snotty guard is holding it. Hey, what are you doing? Merely taking care that it doesn't fall. You tried to steal the whole damn thing. Right. By the way, have we agreed on no violence from now on? We haven't. Then do it now. Pledge to refrain from harming to one another, and I am confident Chania will share a prized insect with all in our company. Fine. Rand exhales. Come sit with us. The others make space for the 2 men. How big is this insect? It's gonna feed all of us. Rand was quick in forgiving their previous behavior. Hey, I don't know the names of half of you, friends. Why don't we reintroduce ourselves? While we are at it, please state where you come from and what you do. Sure, even though some of us have already talked about it. Jania smiles at the huge man. Rand, sitting next to me, begins with the introductions. My name is Rand, and as you can tell from my outfit, I am a city guard in Crows. I also aid the surrounding settlements on occasion. Well, with girls like Erin. Blush. Rand watches me with a smile. If I had something more to say, but seems he got distracted. Work on your introductions, comrade. Referring to Erin as the motivation for your chivalrous deeds makes you appear corrupt. Corrupt. My name is Leona. I am a soldier in the Royal Army from the capital. Stay quiet. If Leona dislikes Vita for wearing leather armor, how would she act toward a Demonheart? In the realm of the arts, I am known as Ulos. Or perhaps I am not. Oh, I was thinking Eros for a moment. Like, the god of love or something? For none here have heard of me, so you wouldn't know. Silence follows. It appears the old man is right. If so, make a name for yourself among us. You are a singer, correct? Then sing for us. I would offer up a performance, for who knows when the final curtain will fall. But wait, there's still souls waiting to be heard. Sir, you didn't tell us where you're from. It might be important. Ah, I've wandered far and wide, even to the unforgiving lands of Claymonth. Our lovely kingdom holds no secrets from me, and lately, I reside in a humble village northeast of Crows. I think I remember you after all. Many an eve have I sung in the taverns of the Blackbird City. Huh. Not surprisingly, I know nothing about that, but I do seem to recall you borrowing books on demonology. In enough about this humble bard. Our other friends await their turn to speak and sing. Sing? They'd better not. Jeez. I'm Kaisar, librarian from Crows. It appears we've allowed the library to get out of hand. The city watch should pay closer attention to your conduct. Are you referring to the Great Library of Crows? Yes, that one. I hope that was your first time using a knife to threaten someone, because at the library, I can only imagine the visitor's experience. Keep imagining, boy, not like you'd ever set foot someplace people read. That's slander. Just because I don't borrow books from you doesn't mean I don't read. Still, we have no evidence of it. We do. I know an illiterate pig when I see one. Well then, how come your books haven't taught you that slamming your fist into the City Watch's armor would hurt? A librarian. I would have never guessed. The scar on his face, the way he treated Ran when they first met, and most of all, the guy looks like such an idiot when he sticks his tongue out. At least his fancy clothes are starting to make sense, although they appear a bit worn out. I suppose we're all in that shape now, having woken up lying in some dirt. If a freak like him was working at the Great Library, I'm sure we would have heard. Just ignore them. Wait, he's telling the truth. He is librarian at Crows. When he mentioned it, I remembered. He handed me a book once, but back then he didn't speak much, so that was good. You've also been to the library, Mr. Elos, haven't you? Though I must admit, I looked more at the names of the sacred books than the faces of the fleeting souls within. Oh, come on. I can name every book you've taken out. It's alright. I think everyone believes us. Well, I'm glad I got my identity confirmed by a slut. Not that I remember you. Whatever you took out must not have been as controversial as what this old man had. Must have been a romance novel. Keep believing that. I wouldn't want a fiendish stalker like you to remember me. Do you actually keep track of what everyone reads? Yeah, that's my job. Ew. They found quite a stalker for the position. Do you really need a leather vest and a knife in the Great Library? And what would a village girl know about that? I was not at work when I got abducted. I was visiting a relative in the slums. I guess that explains things. Don't mind his little toothpick and that old piece of leather. That's just decoration to scare off attackers. Otherwise, this weakling is screwed. It looks like Kaisar's day keeps getting worse. As for me, my name is Jania. I am a witch. I can light fires and hunt for food. I'm also pretty good with plants. And please don't ask me about my teacher. She passed. I traveled the kingdom, but always returned to Ravage, until everyone went insane. Since then, I moved from town to town, never quite found a home. I've never heard that city of Ravage has become uninhabitable. It was always plagued by cultists and even cursed undead creatures. But one day, something changed, and a part of its population turned against the others. At least those were the tales told by the survivors. Some speculate the inhabitants of Ravage were brainwashed by magic, and it could be the work of demons, since they were so revered in that city. Whilst once a thriving harbor city is now either a desolate wasteland or home to a small group of deranged killers. I'm glad I've never been there. It was already ruined by the time I was born. You weren't any city's patron witch, so are you an outlaw? Would that make her an outlaw, though? Just because she roams around? Stay quiet. I am Bane. You don't wish to know where and what I do. His name sounds southern. They tend to give their children meaningful names. Although... who names their child Bane? Maybe he chose it himself. A reluctance to reveal your occupation implies it's to commit a crime. Why didn't you have tried to prove my guilt? Then, this man has already been under investigation. Accused by small-minded guards such as yourselves, while cutthroats escape under your noses. You were born a century too late. What sort of insult is that? It's not one at all. There used to be a time when a man like you would be welcomed among the knights of Scarecewall. The time of Lord Mace. Wish I could have met him. The Tyrant Lord of Scarecewall is a legend that should stay buried. I might wish to learn more about this dead lord. Oh my goodness, put your tongue back in your mouth, you weirdo. Surprised that isn't pierced. Lord Mace of Scarecewall was a Demonheart who tainted many immortal and their legacies. A man of power and a charming leader. The thought of him exiled and hunted like an animal breaks the frail heart. In my youth, I met an old bard who penned a song about Lord Mace. Please don't. Comrade Leon is turning purple. Or is that the starlight? Anyway. Sitting to my right, it's Vita's turn to speak. I am Vita. I come from Suntown. I'm a trader. Trader, not traitor. Everyone nods. I think Leona's suspecting her of being something else, but she's keeping quiet. End it. I think more smuggler than thief. Stay quiet. Several people are looking at me, as I'm the only one left to introduce myself. I'm Aaron. I was part of the town militia in Raven Halls. For some reason, it makes me feel exposed to say it like that, as if there were nothing more to me. I suppose everyone wants to know why I'm wearing this armor. What were you doing during times of peace, though? I realized I never asked you. Every time I saw you, there was some imminent danger. That's true. I suppose last night's mission has been a heavy burden on both of our minds, but the days of peace have far outnumbered the days of trouble. I was doing the oldest trade, of course, as a mistress of the night. I met with a sea of dubious looks and a few mocking expressions. No matter. I don't like being questioned about my life. That's not true. It's not even funny. Don't say such things, Aaron, someone might take it seriously. And then what? Do you think she'd actually let us hire her? What, so she's actually not a whore? Damn. Rand would know. If she were, he'd be the first in line to hire her. Wow. No, I wouldn't. I would save her from that. Enough of her nonsense. Alright, interrogation time. Kaisar rises from his seat, only to crawl toward me and get in my face. Dude! You've got a smart mouth on you, Aaron, haven't you? Tell us then. Oh no. Does he know something? Did he find the arrows I discarded, or see me wash myself from the blood? How do we know you were really in the Raven Falls militia and you didn't murder someone and take their clothes? How do we know you didn't murder the librarian? This woman has devious thoughts. Someone apprehend her. No, she doesn't. She simply turned her idiotic question back at you. And here comes a lad I haven't asked anything. Erin must be pretty shady to warrant you leaping to her defense. I made my point here. You're a common jackass, aren't you? But you're right. The Raven Wench is by no means holier than us. Alright, let's try to cheer up instead of putting one another down. I've never camped in otter company. The language, the jokes, I'm not accustomed to this. I agree the company is weird. You're calling us weird? That's like getting rejected by a person you don't even like. Shut up, wench. God knows why you're not in jail yet. She and a few other law-offending individuals. My dear companions, I owe you all a song. One of friendship until the very end. May it inspire you to cherish your kindred spirits. Huh, if only. Very well, let us hear your song. Can you sing a famous one so we can join you? Someone find me a goddamn bucket. But it might be nice. I don't want to hear it, but I'll stay to taste that crunchy insect. No singing. Ugh. Stop complaining and listen. Good +1. Ilus takes the old lute he had slung over his back and dusts it off. It's a simple instrument made out of wood, but his hands hold it delicately as if it were a treasure. If you know the tale of 7 companions, well, they're welcome to join me if they know the words. He begins to play. His voice is clear and melodic. Once there were companions 7, born under the same star, bound by pledge to fight as one. Their hearts ablaze with loyalty. Loyalty, not loyalty, good lord. Their spirits steadfast and true. They braved the dangers side by side. One day they would reach their goal, but was it what they sought to find? Would bliss await them when the foe thus died? A shadow crept across the land. A shadow turned into a man, with a cruel sword and a hungry eye. The 7 companions set upon him, to slay him ere he could grow, his hate and anger to a flame. They battled him with all their might, through darkened woods and raging storms. The villain slithered back, it seemed. Victory was at their door. But in the grip of weariness, the 7 companions lay to rest. They would not see the light of dawn. The traitor struck in dead of night. His sword was swift and deadly bright, and cut their lives away as if they were straw. Together they drank and ate in heaven, the companions 7. There aren't that many rhymes in that one, huh? Like rhyming. I like it when sleazy old men like I'm shut their traps. Jania laughs, nearly falling over. There are 8 of us, though. Which one is not our companion? 'Tis not our tale, and if it were, leave this old man behind and forge your own adventure. I have lived through mine. I was gonna say, he'd be the one, probably. Rand breaks off one of the roasted bug's legs and offers it to me, grinning uncomfortably. I take a bite. It tastes a little bitter, but I try to keep it down because it'll give me energy. Ilus is now telling well-mannered jokes, but he himself doesn't laugh. The others seem to be enjoying themselves and are laughing or smiling at his words. Except for Bane. Oh, even Bane is listening. Kaisar is grinning but rolling his eyes. Jania gets up and shortly returns carrying a stack of wooden cups and a bottle. Putting them down on the ground, she fills one cup and raises toward the fire. We're gathered here tonight to celebrate a temporary home. Where did you find wine? It's not wine, it's some piss ale. Anyway, I drank it early and survived. Has she been drunk all along? What did you call this beverage? Piss ale. You were not supposed to repeat that. Comrade Leona is... she's in line to become a knight in the capital. Huh? So she's not allowed to hear certain words? Why? Leona is grimacing, while some of the others laugh. Well, we should drink whatever we can get, right? Like the sailors saving up their own piss. Jania laughs again. Then Rand helps her fill all the cups and they hand one to each person around the fire. Does ale really quench thirst? I was distracted by his tongue. Try and learn, princess. We all drink. I'm pretty sure this is what normal ale tastes like. There's not a lot of it because it got split between the 8 of us, but it's something. Jania thought of everyone and brought exactly 8 cups. I look over at Rand, who is sitting next to me. He smiles at me as he sips his brew. Then he turns back to watch the bard, who is playing another tune. My gaze drifts to the darkness beyond the flames and the forest that surrounds us. Why we were gathered here, no one seems to know. Yet it's human nature to band together and make things work. Elos, polishing his lute, with strands of silver gray hair scattered over it, looks up into my eyes. Fate favors those who stand as one. Stare at him. The bard smiles, looking back at his instrument. He knows more than he lets on. It feels like we are doing a good thing by bonding together, even if we don't know why. After all, we're stuck out here tonight. We shouldn't surrender to the base pleasures of drinking. With everyone fed, we may continue our search. Are there any more bottles of that ale, though? There's a whole crate in that house. Enough. I said not to get drunk. You want us to search in the dark? Do you truly wish to stay here? The sooner we find an exit from this peculiar village, the better. I have no problem exploring in darkness. I do it, but I don't take orders from royal soldiers. Well, if someone doesn't want to explore, no one can force them. This is not how you instill discipline. These people are not our subordinates. This is a situation of crisis, in which I take command, and you are my right hand. I watch silently as the others argue. It seems they have come to a stalemate between not wanting to be Leona's subordinates and wanting to find an exit. They move on to arguing about how to best explore the area. Our friendly dinner is officially over. Leona had the idea of splitting up to search more efficiently, and people are starting to form teams. Rand is by her side, nodding politely as she speaks. I'm guessing those two will be going together despite their differences. Jania and Bane are standing close to each other, speaking quietly. Then someone approaches them. Which way do we go? You're not coming with us. We're supposed to split into couples. Not necessarily. I don't give a damn either way. No, please. Let's just you and I. Let's go you and I. I don't like the way he looks at me. Oh, Bane and Jania are gonna get frisky. What the hell? I wasn't looking at you. Do you wear those trampy clothes just so you can make such accusations? Bane turns to face Kaisar, casting a shadow over the slender man. At that moment, Vita pulls my hand. Hey, do you want to go exploring? You heard what they said. They can't force us, but I'm up for it. There's no use sitting here. We should look around. This nighttime adventuring reminds me of home. In Suntown, you sometimes had to sneak around at night to accomplish something, but to avoid the local bandits. Yet bandits trouble too? Oh yes, they'd come through town, raid the shops, steal stuff, and then leave. Back when we were kids, my friends and I used to sneak around after dark and follow them. We wanted to catch them, but they always ran away. You were chasing after armed bandits? Yep, sometimes there's only a handful of them, sometimes there were a dozen. Fun times. What about your parents? Did they forbid you from doing these things? Nope, they encouraged us. My dad said you'll be stronger than the bandits someday. I get distracted noticing a tall figure watching us. Can I come with you? Dude, why do you want to go in threes? No. It's best to go in different directions to discover as much as we possibly can, right? His eyes narrowing bitterly, Kaisar walks away. Nobody likes Kaisar. Well, that settles that. Vita squeezes my hand. I'm sorry. I really don't want to go with him. He looks shifty. He does look shifty, but wouldn't hurt to have him on our team. He looks capable in a way. Tactful +1. He's probably more trouble than he's worth. Erin, are you feeling well enough to do this? You say she has been a reliable volunteer in Raven Falls. I wouldn't worry about these two. We'll be fine. Via's a bandit. Alright, Via looks capable as well. Thanks. There shouldn't be any danger, as it appears we're alone in this village. Just watch your step. We'll meet again as soon as we find something. I mean, even if we don't, we're meeting back at the campfire. We walk off, leaving the others behind. I glance back and see Elus entering the house. The others seem occupied enough without us. Vita walks closely behind me. The evening sky is cloudy and threatening rain. The forest is quiet except for the occasional noise of wind in the trees. I bet something's going to kill me, and then I'm gonna get resurrected. It feels like I've been walking in circles. We don't see anywhere new to go. I tried to enter this house before without any luck. But I think if I try hard enough, it might be worth a try. Yeah, let's break in. Wait, there's no need to use force. Vita produces a couple metal sticks from one of her bags and crouches in front of the lock. A true traitor. Well, I guess her trait is useful. Oh, so now it no longer jams. She leads the way into the house. It is a modest-looking cabin, not very large at all. I call dibs on the bed. Well, I guess there aren't any answers to be found after all. At least it will do as a place to rest. Are you, like, coming on to me? For a couple people at least. I'm sure the others can find their own houses. She's done then? That's it? I decide to examine the small house. I crouch down and peer beneath the bed, eyes scanning the dimly lit space. I find nothing but a collection of loose rocks scattered underneath. There's nothing hiding under there, huh? If there is, it must be invisible. You sound like the old man Alos. By the bed is an old nightstand. I quickly discover it's full of rotten cloth and moldy remains of some wooden objects. Across the room, my gaze falls upon an old armoire. Carefully arranged on top of it are several blankets, well preserved despite the aging surroundings. It seems the dampness and mold did not get to them. I inspect the aged windows, their worn frames struggling to maintain a proper seal. The passage of time has left them unable to shut completely, allowing a persistent draft to infiltrate the room. It seems this village was truly abandoned a long time ago. I gaze through a window. Tall grass covers the wet ground. In the distance, my eyes are drawn to a grove of lifeless, skeletal trees. In the center of this bleak place is a familiar building, the crypt nestled within the graveyard. The building, could it be a witch's lair? I thought it was a crypt. In the middle of a graveyard? I guess that would be the obvious answer. Still, I'm inclined to suspect everything and everyone right now. Because something bad obviously happened to this village, and a witch would be, you know, an obvious culprit. The building looks like a place they would choose, far away from other people, and yet kinda close. It might be worth checking out. Finding nothing else of interest here, we head toward the mysterious crypt. As we walk through the night wind, it starts raining. The clouds cover the stars and leave only dim light coming from the moon. We pass between rows of tall, thick bushes, then we come upon it. At the heart of the graveyard stands an old building, seemingly no bigger than a house. It exudes an aura of mystery, its ancient stones weathered by time and neglect. A shiver runs down my spine as I wonder what we'll find beyond its moss-covered doors. The rain gets heavier. Our breaths come out in white puffs before disappearing into the darkness. Thunder sounds in the distance. As one, Vita and I push the crypt's door open. As we enter the cold, damp crypt, darkness envelops us, obscuring our every step. Yet, a faint glow emanates from below, beckoning us to go deeper. Walking toward the faint light, we pass by rows of stone graves embedded within the walls. The depths of this crypt have exceeded my initial expectations. Reaching the bottom of the stairs, we find ourselves in a chamber bathed in the eerie light of flickering candles and ornate candelabra. An unsettling revelation comes to light. The sighted present themselves at the sides of the hall. Each room, guarded by menacing metal bars, hints at a grim history that unfolded within these cold, damp confines. Someone's been here. Do you think these candles could be magical? What are the chances it was one of the people who joined us around the fire? Maybe Jania would have lit up the candles, or Elos. But we've had them in our sight for a long time. I don't know. It feels like this place holds many secrets. Why should we examine? Ooh, exploration mode. The dungeon ends in a big wall. On either side of it is a narrow hall that appears to lead nowhere. The wide wall that marks the end of the corridor is also a door with suspended chains and shackles. The candelabra is quite high up, above the archway. Its flickering candles contribute to the ominous lighting of this desolate corridor. Thinking about it, I struggle to discern how someone could have reached high enough to ignite those candles. Dozens of candles have been carefully arranged on the stone blocks on the floor. Even though Vita spilled some wax on the ground, I remain unconvinced that these candles can burn down completely. After all, they were already alight when we arrived. Had someone ignited them long ago, we would have been greeted by darkness. And if they did it shortly before we walked in, who was it? This place is an otherworldly feeling. Shackles hang on their chains from almost every wall at the end of this corridor. Some of them show signs of damage, bent and broken, while others remain robust and firmly in place. At the end of the hallway where we stand, one of the two dead ends draws our attention with an unsettling sight, an abundance of crimson light seeping through the wall's cracks. As I fix my gaze on it, I discern flickering curved shapes, intertwining together to form letters.
Hear of us, these no.
An otherworldly voice resonates, speaking to us in a foreign tongue. What is that? Adir be torments. The dancing lights spelled a cryptic message, Adir he torments. The word Adir reminds me of obedience, making me wonder who we are submit to. Did someone bring us here to torment us? It could be an ancient message, an echo of forgotten magic, or perhaps a lingering curse that's transcended time. Step away from it. It doesn't appear harmful, although it is weird. To the left and right lie two smaller chambers. The simplicity of their barred metal doors serves as a haunting reminder of their purpose. Jail cells, designed to confine and imprison. Within these enclosures, just like everywhere around us, chains adorned with shackles hang ominously, hinting at their purpose to confine numerous captives. As my eyes sweep the dimly lit cells, I am hit with a disturbing realization. The rubble on the floors that I ignored at first is actually a haunting collection of old bones, intertwined with fragments of decayed clothing that once adorned the ill-fated prisoners. What dark activities occurred within these depths? Why would a settlement of such modest size need so much space for prisoners? And why would they keep them beneath the sacred grounds of a graveyard? Whether this was done by law enforcers or some renegade outlaw, our kingdom is a peculiar place. The dark hallway upstairs is where we came from. Along the walls on either side of this passage, there are rows of stone-encased graves. The corridor shrouded in darkness offers ample hiding spots for those who may harbor ill intentions. Unseen eyes could be watching our every move. Yet, I can't but wonder why anyone would venture into this crypt in the first place. Guess this wasn't a witch's lair after all. It was a dungeon. It is a crypt, though. Crypt, dungeon, seems like it was one and the same. Thinking about the people who might have starved to death, chained here over some crime they did or did not commit. I wish we could go outside, but we get a storm on top of everything. We decide to spend some time in the crypt until the storm passes. I feel like the candlelight somewhat helped us dry our clothes. This place is strange indeed. Climbing back up through the darkness, we arrive at the entrance where we listen for the sounds of rain. Fortunately, it stops before too long. We head back to the campfire, or what's left of it. Two men are already gathered by the lifeless, dampened logs. Elos is sitting on his knees in the mud, as if he didn't mind the cold and dirt. Kaisar stands above him like a stray wolf, wet from his hair to his boots. Elos, you haven't gone far, have you? Old bones must rest, let the dead dogs lie. Can I hear the song about Lord Mace? Verily, let me embrace my trusty lute and weave a song to enrapture your soul. No, could you simply recite the words? Ah, as thou dost wish, my lord. Elis's voice, soft and sad, almost comes down to a whisper in the damp darkness. Beneath the great and ancient wall stood Lord Mace with his sword held tall. But now he's gone, lost to time, his glory fades, his rule of rhyme. He met his doom in a twist of fate, lived as a king, slain as a rat. Neath the ground he slumbers, heartless, while his heart in another beats. Somewhere the trees grow high and wild. Oh, where does Lord Mace's murderer hide? How many times did the heart of black, from one's chest to another's mouth pass? Do we have his heart? Is that what he's saying? That's enough, I get it. I certainly. Look at that, we've got company. It's Erin, the dispensable village guard, and one of her patrol dogs. Or should I say, bandit bitch. Hands to yourself, wretch. I'll be a guard dog or bitch any day. My hands are where they should be. Draw my sword. Defiant +1. Erin, don't. He isn't going to attack. He's merely flaunting his little thing. Damn it, you get everything backwards. The knife was to skin a bitch, not you, Erin. I suppose it won't be much if we ask Kaisar what he's discovered. Why not? You think I'm short-sighted? I don't know if you want to be helpful. Alas, the aggression in the heart. You mean hers? I am trying to be helpful. Stop being a pest and you might see it. I tried walking out here, the shortest way I could find. It doesn't work. Past a certain point, you can't walk. This place is wrong. It's not merely a theory at this point. Right and wrong are but fleeting notions. Mayhap we are precisely where we ought to be. According to whom? It almost feels like some divine punishment, except who believes in that crap? The divine are but a myth. The only truth are the infernal fathers and the great boil. The demons of hell? Is that what that means? This is no punishment. Nay, 'tis an occasion to revere the infernal and the accursed. Alright, let me stand over here. Elos, remember the Church of Ravage? The old man gives a long, quiet laugh. I wandered the streets of the doomed city ere it crumbled. Its denizens clung to a fascinating ideology and faith. To honor the infernal, yet offer solace to humanity. For in the great ravage, our kindness may temper the infernal ones. Who knows? They may have indeed shown mercy to their worshippers. Alas, with the church's disciples slain by bleeding dead rodents, we shall never know. We are but flakes of dust in the current of time. We can do naught but hope. This part is really raising my morale. Elis cackles quietly. So, Kaisar, you trying to walk out and leave us all behind? Huh? Well, I'd come back to show you the way. Only me? Oh well. We'll have to sleep here, and after this annoying rain. I'm cold. We must seek out the magic wielder to rekindle these flames. Alas, who would dare speak to the little fury? Or we could find some dry wood inside the houses. Oh, here's our witch. Thus flow the forces of fate. Be cautious of your desires. Bane and Shania approach us. As we draw near, I notice they are not wet. They didn't get caught in the rain. Or she dried them with, like, heat. Where were you? We didn't get far. Right. Were you having sex with one another? Vita whispers to me. I don't want to know what these two are exploring. Ouch. Hey everyone, Aaron and I did discover something. We found some lit candles in the crypt. Candles? First met Mr. Alias by the graveyard. Do you know anything about those candles, sir? I did not pass the gates of the crypt, unwilling to disturb the dead. Then who did it? Yeah, who indeed? Greetings once again, our companions. Do you know anything about some candles being ablaze? I'm afraid not. They weren't the only thing we found. Do you mean that creepy magic? Huh? What magic? At first, it appeared as a reddish light, but when we approached, it formed words and we heard a wicked voice. Was it speaking in our language? No, it wasn't. How did you know? And the words? The eerie torments. I understand. I'll try to make sense of this information. Regardless, I must see with my own eyes. I have an idea about the strange magic you found. The why it's here is what I'd like to know. What is it? It's a type of riddle often called demon speech. The words are not what they seem. You need to rearrange the letters to get the real message. Or it could be a secret passphrase to unlock something. It might just be there to mess with us. Or it probably wasn't even meant for us, but for someone who lived here long ago. If a demon spawn used to walk this village, it gives us a new perspective on what local folks might have gone extinct. There is no place for sadness. He merely elevated them in death. What are you saying? That should be reserved for the vilest of wrongdoers, not innocent villagers across the demon's path. Are we stuck in a village that was slaughtered by a demon spawn? If we meet one, what should we do? Obvious. Capture it and subject it to the most severe punishment. How do we capture it? How many warriors would it take to succeed? It depends on the demon spawn's personal power, but I wouldn't attempt it. Reason at last. Meaning, we cannot rely on you, Jania. The crown will hear of this. As you wish, not like the crown's ever done anything for me. If there really is a demon spawn, don't talk about attacking him as if he couldn't hear you. Elos cackles at the librarian's words. He must have been thinking the same, but chose not to disclose it to us. That's true. I should have been more careful. I should have warned you not to choose your words wisely. Still, the demon spawn know what to expect from us humans. It's not as if there is one in the first place. Hopefully. It's simply some remnant of an ancient curse or something. The villagers did disappear, but that's nothing to do with us, right? There haven't been any signs of an enemy lurking nearby. Let us not lose hope. We haven't been able to find our way home this day, but morning light might bring new clarity. What matters is that we are among friends. It's like we're a renowned party of adventurers, with all of our combined skills. If someone tries to mess with us, they'll regret it. I don't feel like all of us belong together. And there are duties calling us more important than simple adventuring. I would recall be sipping hot winter wine in a tavern, rather. You need to wait for winter anyway. Huh, I would rather go to a market fair. Needless to say, this old minstrel's adventuring days are over. You guys are such downers. And you're a dead weight. Come now, surely you can make a greater effort to get along with the rest of us. Whether you like it or not, we're all camping in this town. Might as well behave with courtesy. I piss on your courtesy. Did you piss on Virginia as well? We get it, you two. Stop being disgusting. If it bothers you, you're welcome to stop looking at us. And get out of my face. Kaisar, I've thought about it, and I deem your past behavior toward Comrade Rand unacceptable. When I return to Everlast, I shall ensure that a formal complaint reaches the city of crows, urging for immediate removal from the Great Library. There's no need to do that, comrade. I've already forgotten about it. And that is your mistake. With everyone tired and worn out, we sit around the wet embers. I find it interesting we're all connected to crows in one way or another. Except, well, Bane never told us where he was from or what he did for a living. Anyway. Should we talk about the red-feathered assassin? Voices die down as everyone tries to understand Rand's question. It's a topic that concerns everyone in Crows, perhaps even the entire kingdom. Aaron and I were abducted during our mission to stop them. Aaron, would you tell our friends what we were last doing on the outskirts of Raven Falls? Last night, Rand and a group of soldiers from Crows came to my hometown chasing after a murderer. Tactful +1. We named him the Red-Feathered Assassin. What a stupid name. Yeah, Miss Red Feathers. Well, this killer used some rare arrows. I joined the search party along with a few of my townspeople. Sounds risky. You were not trained soldiers, were you? While not seasoned warriors, our volunteers possess their own skills. Aaron's townsfolk tend to step up when needed. So, who was the victim? Or does it even matter? It's about the Lord's son, isn't it? Indeed, the victim was Lord Jehanel's eldest son, the young Lord of Crows. A pathetic child? No, the young lord was an adult man of over 30 years. He only got that nickname because he was next in line for lordship. So it was the young lord at Crows. I don't know why I'd forgotten that information. So, Kaisar, I suppose the whole city has heard? I was in a group that assembled immediately, so I have no idea what went on back home. Of course, he was shot in broad daylight. Someone even remembered to drop by the library and tell me about it. Or maybe they came to tell one of the readers inside, and you listened in on them. Right. Your sharp wit is matched only by your lack of manners. We presumed the assassin to be a man, but it was a person with a black hood, always crouching or running. We never caught him, so I only saw an arrow. Ah, yes. I saw some of those too. I'm not gonna say that. If I were the culprit, I would not have butchered the Lord's son. I'd be asking for a ransom. Common sense. Since we cannot undo the past, we should honor our fallen friends. Comrade Rand, were you acquainted with the young lord? Ha, no chance. I mean, I knew what he looked like, but Lord Jehanel's family wouldn't associate with someone like me. The lordlings of this kingdom are such buffoons. Maybe you shouldn't wish to associate with them either. What about you, Kaisar? Did Lord Jehanel or his son frequent the library? As a matter of fact, they didn't. I hope they had books at home. Indeed, the family likely owns a private library. Lord Jehanel is quite an educated man. Then you know this Lord Leona? Does that make you his son's murderer? I met the father, not the son. And what reason do you have to entertain such a notion? The assassin is a man in the forest west of Raven Falls. Or, if we were also fortunate, he might already be on his way to the dungeons as we speak. I only said that because in premeditated murders, they don't usually target strangers. True, the circumstances point to the crime had been planned. A black arrow with red feathers, fired from a significant distance. Rand told me where the murder occurred. I know the square. It was truly an oversight of the young lord to walk such an exposed area unarmored. Were we supposed to speak only good things about the dead? It was not my intention to. I meant it in a neutral way. So then, Leona, have you often been a guest in our city? You never swung by to see me either. I'm afraid social visits left me no time for solitary activities such as reading. Ow. Spending time with me is a solitary activity. Perhaps if I had frequented the library, I could have taught you some manners, so now I wouldn't have to report you. Much talk of scroll keeping, and not enough of the murder. If we but knew the solution to this mystery, a bard cannot weave a tale without knowing the truth of its events. Man, so much reading, my throat's going raw. I thought you minstrels lied for a living. How does that work anyway? The assassin fires an arrow and runs. How do you find them? You have much to learn. Oh, he'll teach you, alright. He made a mistake which greatly helped us to react quickly. Someone saw his hooded figure as he shot through the window. Sounds like a shitty hired killer to me. All the present members of the City Watch rushed toward the building. The assassin escaped through one of its many windows, and it was clear they were headed out of the city. People in the streets saw a hooded stranger running. From there, it was a combination of different tactics. We followed the physical traces left behind and interrogated eyewitnesses. Each search team had a tracker skilled at predicting the killer's movements based on our knowledge of the city and the surrounding terrain. My team happened to end up on the right track. You give yourself and your comrades too little credit. It wasn't luck that guided you, it was skill and a righteous spirit. Well, thank you if you think so. As you could gather from my testimony, the City Watch and Crows is well equipped to deal with these tragic situations. In other words, shooting a member of the Lord's family in the middle of Crows is not a smart idea. You're right. If it were a commoner, no one would have betted an eye. Suddenly, Rand steps back, clutching his chest as darkness overtakes his features. I assumed Kaisar's comment was merely snide. I didn't expect it to affect Rand so deeply. That's wrong. City Watch protects everyone equally. At least there are some among us striving to provide the safety to each citizen. Think. When was the last time City Watch organized a search of this magnitude? And how many commoners die each day? That's because the young lord's killer was obviously better prepared than the average cutthroat. Normally, we catch them sooner, so there's no need for big search parties. If a noble's death goes unpunished, we send a message of utter incompetence to all who count on our protection. But it's no use explaining it. A man who detests the law should not be allowed to represent any of the kingdom's guilds or organizations. Is there any way I could change your mind? I assure you, I'm perfectly capable of behaving myself. You would have to devote a year to voluntary charity work to make me forget how you waved your knife in my comrade's face. She could have stopped him much earlier, but she stayed back and watched. What was that? Leave this wretched rat alone, royal soldier. It was my idea to ensnare your precious comrade. How will you punish me? It's true, Bane grabbed me and Kaisar, well, I guess he joined him just because he could. But don't let this turn into a trial about me. I'm fine. Answer me, royal soldier. Does your so-called justice reach all parts of the kingdom, or only the poor louses who depend on your lawful institutions? Wow. Leona turns and walks away. Seriously? Thank you, Bane. I can't stand those judgmental bastards. Wouldn't surprise me if she's retired to plot against us. Why did you attack Ran? We thought he and that hag brought us here. Well, we hadn't met the hag at that point, or would have kicked her down that chasm. Wow. Wow. The conversation dies down. I suppose it's time for everyone to find shelter for the night. Leona appears again and calls Ran over to help her with something. As those present disperse in different directions, Vita, who was by my side a moment ago, is nowhere to be seen. I stare at the darkness in front of me. But I'm not completely alone. Why is he like... keeps gravitating toward me. Stare at him in fear. Don't worry, Kaisar, they won't fire you. I'm not worried about that. Such a good worker, huh? Well, how do you think someone from the slums gets hired at the Great Library? I'm actually concerned about someone other than myself. Me? The way you fidget with your hands, it looks unnatural. You've got a little habit of fiddling with your chainmail whenever someone makes you nervous, but your hands are too quick. No one handles it like you do. It might have something to do with my demonic powers. No one's pointed it out before, so I never thought about it. Could Kaisar be right about my movements appearing unnatural, or is he just strange? Oh, he's strange, alright. So what if my hands are quick? Well, I just think it looks stupid. Is he an idiot? Want me to help you calm down? No! Aaron. I was wondering where you'd gone. When you'd been here all along. Ran, you kinda came at the wrong time. Wrong, huh? Why were you looking for me? I was wondering if you needed... Oh, you were here with Kaisar. Of course. I shouldn't have worried. Perhaps you should. Excuse me? Maybe we're not on the same side after all. Maybe we can't be. There's no need to be so dramatic. We're all lost here. But as long as we don't allow ourselves to fall into disarray, everything will sort itself out. Then be a good guard and don't play favorites. Besides, talking to Erin at this late hour is inappropriate and unchivalrous. Then step away from her. None of us are in the mood, but we're putting in an effort to stay in good spirits. Could you try to contribute, Kaisar? Afraid I'm not good at it. Hey, are we going to our secret house? You guys are not invited. Where did you come out of? I was just scouting out this farmhouse with the Pistale since we never entered it. Unfortunately, Luna was inside and she kicked me out. Watch yourself, Leech. You better guard Erin as you promised, since you care so much about her safety. Why would I need protection? I'm gonna stay silent. I will guard her. From you. Come on, don't be silly. We're not on a battlefield. Gods know even us soldiers need a break from all the danger. Yeah. Make sure your commander don't create some danger, because she's been acting awful. I'll have a word with her and do what I can. Believe me, witnessing these arguments is not something I enjoy. So, Erin and Vita will stick together for the night. That's okay. Comrade Leon and I will be staying together. Here. I ain't gonna ask. I ain't gonna ask you. I'm trying to get in my pants. Get out of here. We'll meet in the morning, right? I guess. Vita gestures for me to follow her. Both men watch as we leave. Even though we decide to stay in Leona's company tonight, I catch a glimpse of concern on Rand's face as he watches us leave. Whew, I'm not used to this much socializing, but I'd rather not be alone in a place like this. What do you think? I'm used to sleeping with a bunch of half-trained soldiers. Ouch. Well, I have some pretty undisciplined friends. wonder if I'll see them again. We're here with a group of very different people, and I like none of them. You're the only one I can relate to. I don't know why. Are you Demonheart? Why do you just like ran? He's a brainwashed agent of law, isn't he? I guess you're on that side as well. But I mean, he follows Leona. People who think they are perfect and always right, like her, who think they are merciful and just when they are actually cruel, it outright scares me. Let's just hope we'll all be far away from each other tomorrow. That we'll wake up someplace else again. Not all of us, I hope. Well, okay, but I'm hoping to lose at least 5 of them. This house is pretty dry and less drafty than those other buildings where the walls have crumpled, but there is only one bed. Finders keepers, Vita. You've been annoying me the whole day. You sleep on the floor. I have no problem sleeping on any service. You can take the bed. Good +1. Are you sure? We could both fit here, if you don't mind, that is. It does seem large enough. It actually is. I'm glad you don't mind. We clean out the bed as best we can. Some of the old bedding is eaten up by mold and insects, so we have to throw it away. Underneath is a semi-decent bed to sleep on. I suppose Vita's not a dangerous person. She's scared most of all, but she trusts me, so I trust her. Good night. Please don't cut my throat in the middle of the night. Seer's point of view? And so, our mortal slaves retire to their flimsy shelters. Sink into your dreams, feeble beings. Let this be your last taste of tranquility for the unholy trial. Fathers know you'll never experience another peaceful night in your lives. Interesting. So it must not know I'm a Demonheart? Nice. Nice. I like that. That was like a 2-hour demo. Wow. I really enjoyed it. The artwork, the characters. There's a lot of characters. Ooh, that's a lot of talking too. Alright. Demonheart, the Cursed Trial.